Part 1. I took the fire lookout job. No one else wanted. When I took the fire lookout job, everyone told me the same thing. You'll go crazy up there. At the time, I thought they were exaggerating. Now I know they weren't. My name's Ryan Mercer, and 3 summers ago I worked as a fire lookout in the Cascade Mountains in Washington State. If you don't know what a fire lookout is, it's exactly what it sounds like. You sit in a small wooden tower on top of a mountain and watch for forest fires. That's it. No coworkers, no visitors, no town nearby, just trees. Endless trees. The tower I was assigned to was called Black Ridge Lookout. It was built sometime in the 1950s and sat on a rocky peak about 40 miles from the nearest town. You couldn't even drive to it. The last 2 miles had to be hiked. The ranger who hired me was an older guy named Carl. When he handed me the keys, he paused for a second and asked, "You ever worked this far out before?" I shook my head. "First time." He nodded slowly. "Well, Black Ridge gets pretty quiet." I laughed. "That's kind of the point, right?" He didn't laugh back. Instead, he said something strange. "If you see lights in the woods at night, it's probably hikers." "Probably?" Carl didn't answer. He just handed me the radio. "Call the station if anything strange happens." At the time, I assumed he meant wildlife. Bears, maybe lost campers. I had no idea what he actually meant. The first day was exactly what I expected. Peaceful. The tower itself was small. 1 room. Wooden walls, big windows on all 4 sides. A single bed. A small stove. A desk with maps and binoculars. And a radio connected to the ranger station. From the tower, you could see miles of forest in every direction. Mountains, rivers, and nothing else. It was honestly one of the most beautiful places I had ever seen. During the day, my job was simple. Every 30 minutes, I scanned the horizon with binoculars, looking for smoke. If I saw any, I'd report it. Most days, I didn't see anything except birds and the occasional deer. At night, the forest got quieter, but not silent. There's always sound in the woods. Wind through trees, branches cracking, animals moving in the dark. After a while, you get used to it. The first night was normal. I made dinner on the small stove, listened to the radio for a while, then went to bed around midnight. Nothing unusual happened. The second night was when things started. I woke up suddenly. No reason. It just awake. The room was dark except for the light coming through the windows. At first I thought maybe an animal made a noise, but everything was quiet. Too quiet. Then I saw it. A small beam of light moving through the trees. I sat up in bed. At first I assumed it was a hiker with a flashlight. But that didn't make sense. There were no trails anywhere near Black Ridge, and no campers allowed within 10 miles. Still, people ignore rules all the time. I walked over to the window and looked down the mountain. The light was maybe 200 yards away, weaving slowly through the trees. Someone was definitely walking. "What the hell are they doing out there?" I muttered. The beam of light moved slowly, side to side. Then it stopped. For a few seconds it stayed completely still. Then it moved again. But this time, it was moving in a circle around the tower. My stomach tightened. The light wasn't just wandering randomly. Whoever it was. They were circling the lookout. I checked my watch. 2:14 a.m. I remember the time clearly because I thought it was strange. Why hike miles into the forest at that hour? The flashlight disappeared behind the trees on the far side of the ridge. I waited by the window for several minutes. But the light never came back. Eventually, I convinced myself it was just a lost camper. The next morning, I radioed the ranger station. Carl answered. "Station. Hey Carl, this is Ryan at Black Ridge." "Morning. Everything all right?" "Yeah. I just saw someone hiking near the ridge last night, around 2. There was a short pause. Then Carl asked, "You see their face?" "No, just a flashlight."
"You made it out."
Another pause. Then he said something that made my stomach twist.
You too.
There are no trails within 15 miles of that tower." "Yeah, I know. So nobody
made it
should be
out.
out there." The way he said it made me uneasy.
It's good to see you.
Maybe
Me
a
too.
hunter? I suggested. Season's closed. Lost hiker? Carl didn't answer right away. Finally, he said, "If you see the light again, let me know."
See those
Then
mountains?
he ended the call.
That's where the trouble starts.
The rest of the day
The
felt
forest hides it
normal.
well. What kind of trouble?
Sunny
It looks so
skies,
peaceful.
Clear air.
Deeper than it
No
seems.
smoke.
We need
But
to be
that
ready.
night, I kept thinking about the flashlight, about how it circled the tower. Still, I told myself it was nothing. Probably someone passing through. Around midnight, I climbed into bed again. The forest outside was quiet. The wind moving through the trees. Crickets. Normal night sounds. At some point, I fell asleep. Then suddenly, I woke up again. My heart was already racing, like my body knew something was wrong before my brain did. I turned toward the window and immediately saw it. The flashlight, moving through the trees again. My chest tightened. It was in the exact same place as the night before. Slowly moving through the forest. I checked my watch. 2:14 a.m., exactly the same time. And then I noticed something worse. The light wasn't circling randomly. It was moving in the exact same path as the night before. Like whoever was holding it had walked the same route, step by step, around the tower. The beam of light moved between the trees. Closer, closer, until it stopped. Right at the edge of the ridge, maybe 100 yards below the tower, and then the light slowly tilted upward, pointing directly at the lookout. At me. My stomach dropped. Because whoever was down there, they knew exactly where I was. And they had just looked straight up at the tower. Part 2.
I need to know exactly
I took
what
the
happened
fire
up in that
lookout
tower.
job.
It was
No one else
terrifying.
wanted.
I barely made it through the
For a
night.
few seconds, I just stood there
You
at
were
the
lucky.
window. The
These woods are
flashlight beam
dangerous
was
at night.
pointed
I
directly
know.
at the tower, right at my window. Whoever was down there knew exactly where I was, and they wanted me to know they were there. My heart started beating faster. Okay, I muttered to myself. That's weird. I grabbed the binoculars from the desk and leaned against the window frame. The beam of light was still shining upward.
Hello?
I tried to
Drop
focus
you.
through
Something's
the trees.
out here. I
Branches
need that
blocked
breath come
most
to
of
the
view,
bro to the door.
but I could see the glow
The wind's
of the
howling,
flashlight
but this is
clearly.
different.
What I
Help
couldn't
me.
see was a person.
My voice.
No silhouette, no movement, just the light. I lowered the binoculars slowly. That's not possible, I whispered. The flashlight beam dropped suddenly and started moving again. But this time it didn't circle the tower. It started climbing. The ridge below the lookout was steep, but not impossible to climb. And now the light was slowly moving up the slope, toward the tower. My chest tightened. Nope, I said quietly. I walked over to the radio. Black Ridge to station. Static crackled for a moment. Then Carl's voice came through. Station. Carl, the flashlight is back. Silence. How close? He asked. Maybe 100 yards down the ridge. Another pause. Then he asked a strange question. Is it moving toward the tower? I looked back out the window. The beam was weaving between trees. Climbing. Slowly. Yeah, I said. It is. Carl didn't respond for a few seconds. Then he said something that made my stomach turn. Ryan, listen carefully. His voice had changed. It was lower, more serious. Say, if that light reaches the tower, do not open the door. I blinked. What? Just don't open it. That's your advice? I asked nervously. What if it's a lost hiker? Carl
Control,
didn't
this
hesitate.
is Carl. Do not open that tower
not.
door.
Carl?
The way he said it made my skin
Just
crawl.
listen. It's not safe. Keep
I
it
turned
locked.
back toward the
All right, I
window
hear you.
again.
Good. Hold
The
position.
flashlight was closer now.
Control, this is
Maybe
lookout
50 yards
37.
down the
Something's
ridge,
moving in the forest.
Moving slowly.
It's getting
like
closer.
whoever was holding
I
it
need
was
backup
taking their
now.
time. Carl, I
Roger
said
that.
quietly,
Standing by.
you ever see this before? Another long pause on the radio. Finally, he said, 3 summers ago. My grip tightened on the radio. What happened? The radio crackled softly. The last lookout at Black Ridge saw the same light. I felt a chill run through my arms. What did he do? Carl hesitated. Ryan, just stay inside the tower. That's not an answer. Carl exhaled slowly. Yeah, he went down to investigate. My chest tightened. And? The silence on the radio felt heavy. We never saw him again. I stared at the flashlight in the trees. The beam moved behind a rock outcrop and disappeared for a moment. Then it reappeared again, closer. "Carl," I whispered. "That light is almost at the tower." The radio crackled again. "Ryan, listen to me." "What?" "You're not going to see anyone." The words made my stomach twist. "What do you mean?" Carl didn't answer right away. Then he said something I'll never forget.
Lookout
Every
tower
lookout
to
who
base.
reported that light said
Visibility
the same
clear,
thing.
but I'm seeing smoke near the
What?
ridge. Over.
They never saw the person
Wind is
holding
steady
it.
from the west. I'll keep
My
monitoring.
heart started pounding.
Over.
I grabbed the binoculars again and leaned out the window. The flashlight beam moved across the rocks below the tower. Maybe 20 yards away now. But Carl was right. Like there was still no person, just the light, floating through the darkness. My throat felt dry. "Carl, there's no one there." "I know." The beam moved again. Now it was directly below the tower platform. The wooden structure creaked slightly in the night wind. Then the light stopped moving. The forest went silent. Completely silent. No wind, no insects, nothing. For several seconds, nothing happened. Then I heard it. A footstep. On the wooden stairs outside the tower. My blood turned cold. The lookout tower had a long staircase leading up from the rocks below, and someone, or something, was climbing it. I backed away from the window slowly. Another step. The wood creaked loudly. Then another. Slow, heavy, like boots on wood. "Carl," I whispered into the radio. "He's on the stairs." The radio crackled softly. And then Carl said quietly, "Ryan, don't look outside." My heart was hammering now. "What?" "Just stay away from the windows." Another step echoed outside. Closer now. The staircase wrapped around the tower as it climbed. Whoever was coming up would reach the door in seconds. I stared at the door across the room. My hands were shaking. "Carl, what do I do?" Carl's voice came through the radio again. "Ryan, whatever happens," he paused, then finished the sentence. "Don't answer if it talks to you." A cold chill ran down my spine. "Talks to me?" But before Carl could answer, the footsteps stopped, right outside the door. The entire tower felt still. Then something happened that made my blood freeze. A flashlight beam slid slowly under the door, lighting up the wooden floor. And then, someone knocked. 3 slow taps. Knock, knock, knock. And a voice from the other side of the door whispered softly, "Ryan, open up." My heart stopped, because the voice outside the door was my own. Part 3. I took the fire lookout job. No one else wanted. For a few seconds, I couldn't breathe. The voice outside the door had just
Take the
said my
radio
name.
and
But the
these
worst
keys.
part wasn't that. The worst
Got it.
part was
Thanks,
that
Carl.
it sounded exactly like
Check
me.
in every 2 hours.
Same tone, same voice, same way I said my own name.
Take the
Ryan,
radio and these
open
keys.
up. The words
Got it.
echoed
Thanks,
softly
Carl.
through the wood of the tower door.
Check in every 2 hours.
My hands started shaking. "Carl," I
Morning.
whispered into the
Everything
radio.
looking all right out here?
"You still there?"
Yeah, quiet morning. Any trail
Static filled the
closures?
speaker.
East Ridge is
For a
closed for
moment, I
maintenance.
thought the signal had
Stick to the
died.
main loop.
Then
Will do.
Carl's voice
Thanks,
came
Carl.
back. "Ryan, don't open that door." My eyes stayed locked on the door. The flashlight beam under the crack moved slowly, back and forth, like someone shifting their weight. Then the voice came again. This time a little louder. "Ryan, it's freezing out here." My chest tightened. "Let me in." I took a step backward. My mind was racing. Carl's voice came through the radio again. "Ryan, listen to me." "I hear it," I whispered. "Whatever that thing says, it's lying." The voice outside the door laughed softly, and it was the most disturbing sound I had ever heard, because it still sounded exactly like me. "You're talking to Carl, huh?" the voice said. My stomach dropped. "How did it?" The voice cut me off. "He can't help you.